just $30 each. Click, call, or visit a Spectrum store today.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app and free with your Spectrum subscription.
I'm Chris Welch. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. Global air travel is expected to be disrupted for several days after a nearby fire caused a major power outage at London's Heathrow Airport, one of the world's busiest travel hubs. Officials say more than 1,300 flights have been affected. Flights resumed at the airport Friday evening.
It really is quite extraordinary how there aren't any backup generators or any systems in place to ensure that electricity is, restored very, very quickly.
President Donald Trump says the Department of Education will no longer manage the nation's more than $1 trillion student loan portfolio. Instead, it will be moved under the Small Business Administration. Special education services, along with nutrition programs, will be under the Department of Health and Human Services.
Going to impact every student across the country because of the reach of federal programs and federal funds that provide the resources that students need to thrive.
And Elon Musk met with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon on Friday. Hegseth said they discussed, quote, innovation, efficiency, and smarter production. The president denies a New York Times report that the Doge head would be briefed on potential China war plans. That's your Spectrum News in 90.
Tracking a little light rain and some higher elevation snow for the Northeast on Saturday. Thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday for the Midwest and also the South, and snow for the upper Midwest develops Sunday. Saturday, look at these highs across the South. Very warm, 70s and 80s. The chilly weather through the Great Lakes, Chicago, only 37 on Saturday. I will track the risk for severe weather this weekend coming up.
Travel chaos across the globe following a fire near one of the world's busiest travel hubs. The fire at an electrical substation causing London's Heathrow Airport to lose power, forcing Europe's busiest hub to shut down for roughly 18 hours. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Welch. Heathrow began reopening Friday with the first plane of the day landing at about 6 p.m. local time, but this incident causing more than 1,000 flight disruptions and stranding hundreds of thousands of people. As Spectrum's Robert Guadarrama reports, it's expected to be a days-long process of getting passengers to their destinations.
It was incredibly dark. All the street lights were out.
This flyer among many arriving to eerie darkness at London's Heathrow Airport early Friday morning. All power at the airport had been knocked out by this massive fire, sparked at an electrical substation in a nearby town. With Europe's busiest airport at a standstill, the global ripple effect was felt almost immediately. A passenger aboard this London-bound flight in Boston overnight tells CNN they waited more than 3.5 hours on the tarmac before being sent back to the gate. At another major U.S. hub, Chicago's O'Hare International, several check-in counters were quiet and a number of Heathrow-bound flights impacted.
Look at that.
Communities surrounding Heathrow woke to a sky filled with smoke and flames in the distance. Fire crews were able to get the blaze under control, and a police spokesperson says foul play is not suspected. Still, a counterterrorism unit is working with fire officials to determine the cause.
The worst thing you could do is to start it off as a simple arson investigation working with the power company and find out after the fact there's something sinister behind it and play catch up. So this is them being proactive.
Limited flights resumed at Heathrow Friday night. The airport expects to be fully operational sometime Saturday. Robert Guadarrama, Spectrum News.
And joining us now with more is Ian Petchnik from Flight Radar 24. Ian, we got to talk about the global effects here. What are the ripple effects, and what's this impact having on travel here?
Sure. Anything that moves around the world is going to move through Heathrow at some point or another. And when you have hundreds of flights in the air that are bound for Heathrow that need to suddenly go somewhere else, and then you have those, over 1,300 flights that get canceled throughout the day, it ripples through the system very, very quickly and has a pretty big impact around the world because so many airlines operate to and from Heathrow Airport. You have an outsized impact on the global aviation system.
How many days do you think before things get back to normal, schedule-wise after an event like this?
Yeah, schedule-wise, normalcy versus how passengers feel about it being normal will be a bit different. It sounds like Heathrow is going to try and operate a normal schedule tomorrow, meaning the flights that were already scheduled to operate tomorrow will operate. But that still leaves all of the people that were stranded today without a way to get where they need to be as quickly as they want to. So it's going to take some time for those folks to get rebooked, put on new flights. I assume some airlines will try and add sections, or they will try and upgauge existing aircraft, so operate a larger aircraft than they normally would on one of their flights to get as many people moving. And airlines are going to work together as best they can to try and move as many people as they can quickly.
And just very briefly here, Ian, how rare is an event like this that shuts down an entire airport?
This is, for this length of time, this isn't quite unprecedented, but it is extremely rare. Normally, we're looking at a few hours when a strong weather storm moves through or something like that, where we're talking about thunderstorms in Dallas or a blizzard in Chicago, things like that, where there's a few hours delayed. There might be a handful of diversions, things like that. But it really takes a lot to shut down a global airport like this.
Yeah. Well, Ian Petchnik, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
In Washington, President Donald Trump announcing plans for the Department of Education just one day after signing an order aimed at dismantling the agency. Trump giving new details about what will happen to the nearly $2 trillion in student loans. Our national reporter Evan Kozlov has more from the nation's capital.
It is so maddening.
Randi Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, couldn't hide her frustration when talking with Spectrum News on Friday about President Donald Trump's executive order to dismantle the Department of Education.
It's an abandonment of our children.
The AFT, the second largest teachers union in the country, is now pledging to fight the president in court, saying that dismantling the department will hurt students living in poverty and those with disabilities the most.
The federal role was always about opportunity and lifting opportunity and ensuring that those who fell behind were given the opportunity to catch up and to leap ahead.
But getting rid of the agency is something that was long sought by the president and other Republicans, who argue it's wasteful and that many of its functions can be better handled by state and local governments. The president said that key services like Pell Grants, Title I funding for low-income students, and resources for kids with special needs would not be affected.
I don't think it's even risky a little bit. I think it's going to be amazing.
In the Oval Office on Friday, the president announced how the department's responsibilities would now be redistributed, saying funding for students with disabilities and nutrition programs will now be handled by the Department of Health and Human Services, while management of the massive student loan portfolio, totaling roughly $1.8 trillion, will be moved to the Small Business Administration. It was not immediately clear if these changes can happen without the approval of Congress.
Great education, much better than it is now at half the cost.
And just as the Small Business Administration plans to take on this new responsibility, it's set to see some staffing cuts. Its administrator announcing on Friday plans to cut some 2,700 jobs, more than 40% of its workforce. Reporting here in Washington, I'm Evan Kozlov, Spectrum News.
At the Pentagon, why Elon Musk met with the Secretary of Defense Friday. That's coming up on Spectrum News. And as we head to break, here's a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street, with all three major stock indexes ending the week on a high, narrowly avoiding a fifth straight losing week.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
I really am in the middle of nowhere. Every day is different. Chores, come on, homeschooling. And then I fit in the rug business. I just got a new batch of rugs that I'd love to show you. I have a website, and a lot of what I do is sharing my home life. Mommy's leaving. Reliable, high-speed internet is the foundation of our business. Spectrum was great. They went out of their way to make sure that I was okay and I was taken care of. Shoo! And that's the awesomeness of having Spectrum.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Meteorologist Alan Ogles here with another round of your weather on the ones. Much of the country looking very quiet on the weather map. Now, Maine, you're looking at rain and snow exiting this evening and tonight. Rain and snow through the upper Midwest with the weak system and also the Pacific Northwest. Rain along the coast, but the higher elevations dealing with more snow. As we look at the futurecast, that weak disturbance in the Midwest now moves into the Northeast for Saturday. So maybe you have some plans outdoors on Saturday. It's not looking that great for upstate New York, Pennsylvania, a few rain and even some snow showers in the Adirondacks of upstate New York. You can see clouds along the coast towards New York City and Boston. Temperature-wise on Saturday, nearly 60 though in Boston, 60 in New York, upper 60s in D.C. Although Buffalo, chilly, only at 43 degrees. As we look at the futurecast on Saturday night into Sunday, another storm system will take shape in the upper Midwest. That's bringing snow through the UP of Michigan by later on Sunday. And then farther to the south, the Ohio Valley, scattered showers and storms, rain by the afternoon and evening into Ohio. So we take a look at the snowfall amounts through northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. Some areas seeing over 3 inches of snow. Look at Marquette, 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. So Sunday not looking great through the Great Lakes region. 44 Minneapolis, Green Bay up to 42, Chicago some showers with the temperature around 50. The overall trend into the weekend, that chilly air through the Great Lakes and Northeast, but the South, the West Coast, much warmer temperatures for early next week. But there is a severe weather risk we're tracking in Missouri Saturday night, the South on Sunday, wind, hail, even a few tornadoes not out of the question. We'll talk more about that system coming up with your next Weather on the Ones in less than 10 minutes.
If you're just joining us, here's what you need to know. A fire knocked out power to London's Heathrow Airport Friday, disrupting travel plans for hundreds of thousands of passengers around the world. Heathrow partially reopened Friday evening. There are now more than 355 confirmed measles cases in the U.S., most of those in Texas and Mexico, but cases have been reported in 16 states. 2 people have died. The Trump administration announcing plans to cut the Small Business Administration's workforce by 43%. That equates to about 2,700 jobs. And that's what you need to know. Boeing will build the Air Force's next fighter jets. President Trump making that announcement Friday alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the White House. At the same event, the president defended a visit by Elon Musk to the Pentagon. Our national political reporter Taylor Popolars has more from Washington.
An announcement Friday by President Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to build new military fighter jets was overshadowed by a meeting Hegseth had right before with billionaire Elon Musk at the Pentagon.
We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about DOGE, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake.
That reporting was an overnight story by the New York Times that said Musk was set to be briefed on the U.S. military's plan for any war that might break out with China. The Wall Street Journal quickly matched the reporting, but the Trump administration immediately denied it.
He's there for DOGE, not there for China. And if you ever mention China, they walk out of the room. He wouldn't take it anyway. So it's just a made-up story.
The world's richest man heads SpaceX and Starlink, companies that have contracts with the Defense Department worth billions of dollars. Musk also is a senior advisor to the president, heading DOGE, an initiative to cut federal spending by billions of dollars, and Musk does business with China. All this has raised questions about Musk having conflicts of interest. In February, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told Spectrum News this when asked about Musk wearing so many hats at the same time.
That if Elon Musk comes across a conflict of interest with the contracts and the funding that DOGE is overseeing, then Elon will excuse himself from those contracts.
The president has repeatedly defended Musk from critics while expanding his authority as he oversees DOGE.
And I just want to thank him. He's going through a lot, what they're doing to him.
But in the Oval Office Friday, the president did say that the military's war plans should not be shared with Musk, a rare example of the president placing some limits on the billionaire's role. Secretary Hegseth called Musk a patriot and innovator and acknowledged the U.S. military relies a lot on Musk's various businesses. Reporting at the White House, Taylor Popolars, Spectrum News.
The family of a Boeing whistleblower who committed suicide has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company. John Barnett was a quality control manager who worked for Boeing for more than 30 years. He took his own life last March. The lawsuit accuses management of pressuring Barnett to not document aircraft defects. It also claims Barnett suffered PTSD due to harsh work environments. His family is asking that Boeing pay them for damages, including medical expenses and emotional distress. Detained Columbia University student activist Mahmoud Khalil appeared in federal court Friday as his lawyers fight to free him. Khalil is in custody in Louisiana. During the brief court hearing, an immigration judge set a fuller hearing for April 8th. The Columbia University graduate student is a legal U.S. resident with no criminal record. He was detained by federal immigration agents on March 8th, part of President Donald Trump's crackdown on what he calls anti-Semitic and anti-American protests. A California judge posting an unusual video dissent Thursday. Take a look at this. Judge Lawrence Van Dyke of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals held up a gun and spoke out against his colleague's decision to uphold California's ban on large-capacity magazines. Van Dyke said those magazines should be covered under the Second Amendment. At least one of Van Dyke's colleagues has called the video, quote, wildly improper. UCLA is moving on after winning round one of the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Spectrum sits down with the teams forward on their keys to success. Just ahead on Spectrum News.
For the millions of school-aged children across the country, the state of their schools can have a lasting impact on their health and well-being.
The majority of school districts aren't doing comprehensive regular water quality testing.
As CO2 levels rise in a space, cognitive function takes a direct decline.
We visit 2 school districts working to create safe and healthy environments for their students.
Watch Exploring Your Health, Curing Our Classrooms, available on the Spectrum News app.
Starting a business is hard. You have to stay connected at all times.
As we've been growing the studio, Spectrum's been there every step of the way. I'm always able to make the phone call that I need. I'm able to shoot that text message or that email. Every vital piece of equipment that we have here uses Spectrum.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $40 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep your business connected.
Tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
I'm meteorologist Alan August with another check of your weather on the ones, and the fire danger continues in the plains and also western Texas, unfortunately, into Saturday. Then our attention will turn towards thunderstorms into Missouri Saturday night and Sunday morning. Some of those could be strong to severe, and also the lower Mississippi River Valley Sunday into Sunday night. But at least for the time being, it is quiet this evening into tonight. We were tracking some rain along the coast in Maine, also some high elevation snow. This system is starting to move out tonight, but the Pacific Northwest, we've had storm after storm just moving on in, and more rain in the lower elevations, more snow in the high elevations. And you can see through the start of the weekend, some snow through western Montana, Idaho, all the way southbound into Colorado and Utah as well. And speaking of Utah, take a look at this shot coming out of Cottonwood Canyons, Utah. An avalanche just racing down that mountain thanks to all of the snow. It's great for the ski resorts, but yes, could be a dangerous situation with avalanches developing. Fire danger does continue into Saturday for the Plain States, western Nebraska, also western Texas and New Mexico, where critical fire danger is there because we have winds really picking up and low relative humidity as well. Look at these winds starting to ramp up during the midday and afternoon through Texas and also New Mexico, 20, 40 miles per hour at times. We're watching that severe weather threat into Missouri by late Saturday night into Sunday morning, an overnight event with the threat for some stronger storms. Main threat will be gusty winds. And then this system will stretch its way south towards the lower Mississippi River Valley. By later on Sunday, the risk for strong to severe storms. Mississippi, also in Alabama and northern portions of Louisiana. But there's that level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather Saturday night for central portions of Missouri. And then that zone will shift south and east for Sunday into Sunday night from Memphis to Shreveport, Louisiana, Tupelo, Mississippi. There is a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms. As we look ahead towards the last week of March, by the way, compared to average, it looks like the middle section of the country, the South, will be well above the average.
Former UFC champion Conor McGregor says he'll run for president of Ireland later this year. The mixed martial artist announced his candidacy for the largely ceremonial role on an anti-immigration stance. McGregor has emerged as a figurehead for the far right in Ireland. The Dublin native met with President Donald Trump at the White House on St. Patrick's Day. A judge rules Mariah Carey did not steal her holiday mega hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, from other songwriters. The judge granting the pop singer's request for summary judgment, which gives her and her co-writer a victory without going to trial. Country songwriters Andy Stone and Troy Powers claimed Carey's 1994 song infringed on the copyright of their 1989 song with the same title. They're expected to appeal the decision. All right, day 2 of the men's NCAA basketball tournament tipped Friday, intensifying March Madness. UCLA dominated its first game, defeating Utah State Thursday. Spectrum's Nikki Kay spoke with the team's star forward and joins us with more on how the team is hoping to finish this season strong.
His first NCAA tournament, his first time stepping into March Madness. But UCLA forward Tyler Bilodeau has come to understand that this is the standard in Westwood.
Just a rich history here and everything that UCLA's accomplished. It's like a blessing to be a part of the school.
Transferring from Oregon State in his first season in blue and gold, Bilodeau became UCLA's leading scorer and finished the regular season with Big Ten honors. These Bruins have had a year of adjustment to an entirely new conference and to each other. Head coach Mick Cronin assembled a team of first-year Bruins and transfers.
I'd say about 40 days of no sleep for me last spring putting this team together. And then playing in the Big Ten for the first time with a team with most of our leading scorers were first-year players. It was a huge challenge for us.
But Tyler feels that learning together is what has made this team stronger.
When everyone loves each other on this team, I think that's, you don't see that very often. So I think that's our biggest thing, just having all of us stay together.
The Bruins are going to have to rely on that togetherness in the newness of the postseason, because this will be the first NCAA tournament for 7 of the 10 rotation players. The Bruins missed the tournament last year. Coach Cronin is glad to be back.
You guys know everything we do and we talk about with our team is to get to this point, get to this moment. So we're fired up.
Tyler says the pressure and the expectation is why you come to play at UCLA.
The tradition here, all the banners up on the wall. I mean, that's why we all came here. That's why the guys who transferred here came here. That's what we're all playing for. The end goal is to win a national championship.
And the Bruins' march to that end goal starts now.
The Columbia women get their first ever NCAA tournament win, beating Washington 63-60 in the first 4 round. Riley Weiss scored 14 of her 24 points in the fourth quarter, helping Columbia rally from a 13-point halftime deficit. This historic win for the Lions came on the 1-year anniversary of their first ever March Madness appearance. The Lions now go on to face 6th-seeded West Virginia on Saturday. I'm Chris Welch. Thank you for watching. Your Spectrum News in 90 is coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
Friday nights, The Big Deal with Errol Lewis, where Spectrum News' local political journalists break down the most important issues shaping our nation.
Our journey towards improving mental health doesn't always present a clear path. Every Thursday on Your Mental Health, we listen to voices across our communities, discussing the challenges of everyday life and presenting accessible resources to guide us along the path to our well-being, providing hope and empowering choices that light the way to a healthier you.
Your Mental Health with Dr. Nicole Clark, Thursdays on Spectrum News Plus, available on all your favorite devices.
It's game time at the arena, and 20,000 fans are looking for a win. With an ultra-high-speed network and seamless Wi-Fi, fans can get in the door fast and share the game's best moments in real time. And with Spectrum Business committed to keeping them connected 100% of the time, they won't miss a second of the action. A secure, reliable connection from Spectrum Business means the fan experience is a guaranteed win.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce. We all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/team up.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News Plus, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News Plus, exclusively on Spectrum. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app. Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the